inspiration is your setback is a setup for a come up. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people go through a lot of things in life and it sets them back. But I want to let you know this morning that no matter what you went through in life, no matter how many setbacks you've had in life, don't give up. Because just realize and just know that your setback is a setup for a come up. That means that God has something way more in store, better for you than whatever it was that set you back. In any kind of way that you were set back, whether you were set back mentally, financially, mentally, physically, whatever it is, just know that your setback is a setup for a come up. And the reason why I say that is because we need to realize that when we go through things in life and when things happen in our lives, we need to realize that that doesn't define who we are, and we should not give up. We should always keep striving to come back, because we need to know that our setbacks that we go through in life is a setup for a come up, and you need to know that. And that's very important, because a lot of people get knocked down in life and they go through these certain things, and then they lose their self-esteem to want to come back up. They lose their self-esteem to want to keep moving and moving strong. But I'm letting you know, every setback is a setup for a come up. And we need to realize that, and we need to strive hard. Like, say, for instance, this economic crisis. This economic crisis that we're going through right now has set a lot of people back. And I know it might be a lot of people sitting around and thinking that they're never going to be able to come back up. But I'm here to tell you this morning, in this morning inspiration, that your setback is a come up for a comeback. Your setback is a setup for a come up, basically. And that's what I'm here to tell you, because a lot of times things happen in life. A lot of times we go through, like, say, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. Say, for instance, you've been working on a job for all these many years, and then all of a sudden the economic crisis happens and you get furloughed from your job. And now you don't know which way to go. You don't know which way to turn. And you're wondering, hey, I've been on that job for 20 years. How could they just furlough me like that? And now I don't have no job. And now I gotta, and now I gotta draw unemployment. This is the way your mindset should be thinking, that my setback is a setup for a come up. And knowing that, okay, no matter what, okay, I lost that job. So what? Maybe I need to go out here and find a way to invest in myself. And then maybe that may be your way to come back up, to come up. But the thing is that you have to realize in your mind that you need to know what you need to do to come back up. But because your setback is a setup for a come up, and you need to realize it. So maybe you need to look into certain avenues. I can tell you something right now. If you've been doing something for so many years and then all of a sudden they just let you go, up out of the blue due to the economic crisis, and say, well, we got to cut back on the employees, so now we got to get rid of some, we got to furlough some, then that should be a sign of letting you know that wherever you was at, that wasn't where God intended for you to be. That was not your purpose that God had in store for you. So you need to realize that that setback is a setup for a come up. And how do you come back up? You come back up by believing in yourself and trusting in yourself and having self-perseverance and knowing that you can come back up. And then now you start to search different avenues to where you can, come back up. Like, say, for instance, now may be a better time than ever for you to invest in yourself. You might need to go ahead and do what you need to do so you can invest in yourself and create a second strand of income, because you've already been proven that you have lost that strand of income because you have just gotten furloughed. So now you're not creating a second strand of income, you're just creating a strand of income. And you need to know, when we go through setbacks, it's only a setup for a come up. But the way that we come back up is that we got to do what the necessary things is that it takes for us to come back up. And sometimes it means becoming an action taker and a decision maker to invest in yourself. Because a lot of people don't know how far they can get in life until they make a decision to try to invest in themselves. Because if you don't make no decision to try to invest in yourself, then where do you think your life is going to head you if every time you turn around, you're getting laid off from a job, or you're always going through a financial difficult situation, and you're not doing nothing to improve that, but you're being set back, and your setback is a setup for a come up, but you're not doing nothing to try to come back up. You're just sitting back and you're just wallowing in your misery. Woe is me. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do. I'm telling you right now, this is my advice to you. Get up and find out what you need to do, to the necessary things that you need to do to come back up, because it's only a setback for a setup for a come up. But you got to realize that that's what it is, and that's what you have to do is realize that and utilize that as a way for you to come back up. But the only way you can do it is within you, is within your self-perseverance, and how much drive do you have in yourself to come back up. Because you cannot come back up if you don't believe you can come back up. You cannot come back up if you don't try to come back up. So I'm challenging you right now, all the people that have been furloughed from jobs or going through difficult things and that have been set back. Your setback is a setup for a come up, and now it's time for you to create a sense of urgency so you can come back up and do the necessary things that you need to do in order to come back up. Because nobody's going to do them but you, and nobody knows what you want and what you're looking for in life but you. But if you don't go out there and get those things, then you're not going to have those things. But you got to realize that your setback is a setup for a come up. But you gotta make that decision and become that action taker and that decision maker to come back up and do whatever you think that it takes to come back up. If it means getting up and don't be waiting on unemployment and go out there and find another job, if that's what you chose to do, that's what you got to do. But you cannot sit back and be miserable and feel sorry for yourself because you're not gonna come back up. If it means now you say, hey, jobs haven't been that low to me, now it's time for me to start looking into ways to invest in myself. Look into some ways to invest in yourself. Keep an open mindset. Listen to people when they bring certain concepts to you, and then you will find what fits you, and then you will be able to come back up. But if you don't realize that your setback is a setup for a come up, then you'll never come back up. You'll just wallow in your misery. You'll just sit back and say, woe is me. I lost my job. I can't believe they did this to me. I worked on that job for all them years. I was loyal to them, and they just up out of the blue and let me go. Well, let me tell you something. In life is not fair. We got to learn how to get past the struggles in life and come back up. We cannot wallow in our misery, because wallowing in our misery is not going to get us nowhere, and feeling sorry for ourselves and thinking that we did something wrong. The reason why we lost the job that we was on for so many years, when they just let us go out the blue due to an economic crisis or furloughed us or whatever the case may be, we got to have that thick skin to realize, hey, you know what? That was a setback. Now it's time for my come up. That was my setback, but it set me up for my come up. And now I'm going to do what it takes to come back up. And that's what you have to do. If it means investing in yourself, take that risk and invest in yourself. Because I can tell you right now, you never know what you can do until you try. But if you sit back and you feel sorry and you feel miserable for yourself because you're going through a setback, and you don't realize that your setback is a setup for a come up, and you just sit back each and every day and wondering how you're going to make something happen, and you're not doing nothing to make nothing happen, you're not putting no plan together, you're not putting nothing into action to make something happen, and you're just sitting back and saying, oh man, I wish this unemployment check would hurry up and come. And if that unemployment check hasn't came yet, find a way. There's ways that you can make it. You do what necessary thing you got to do. If you got to go out there and hustle and wash cars to get up enough money to invest in a concept, to invest in yourself, then that's your setback for a setup for a come up. But you got to realize you got to take the initiative and do what you need to do to come back up when you get set back. When you get set back, you can't just set back and don't do nothing. Now, when you get set back, now it's time for you to take massive action to come back up, because your setback is a setup for you to come back up. But you need to realize that. If you don't realize that, then you can't come back up. You're just going to wallow in your misery. Woe is me. I can't believe they did this to me. I've been such a loyal employee to them. I just can't believe it. I thought I would be the last one to go. I had all that seniority and they got rid of me anyway. That's life. Deal with that and keep on moving, and know that your setback is a setup for a come up, and make it happen and come back up. And don't be sitting around feeling sorry for yourself and thinking that you're not good enough to do what you need to do to live the lifestyle that you need to live. Because you got to realize, what's going on. Like I said, me, myself, when I was out there in the industry working a 9 to 5, I had to realize that every setback that I went through when I was in the law enforcement industry, and I got moved from different forces to different places to different states, and all those things that set me back. When I was working a 9 to 5, I had to realize that my setback was a setup for a come up. And then I realized, I said, well, you know what? I'm getting bounced around like a bouncing ball. I'm not really happy in this industry. So now I'm tired of being set back. So now I'm going to create something for me to come up. And what did I do? I invested in myself on top of what I was doing. Now look at where I am right now. I'm living a lifestyle of fun, freedom, and fulfillment. You can live the same lifestyle that I'm living. All you got to do is become an action taker and a decision maker, and know that your setback is a setup for a come up. And if you want to come up in life, then you got to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to come out of that situation that you're going through right now? Or do you just want to just let it pile up and keep piling up and do nothing about it? No, you don't. You want to come out. So I'm telling you this morning, your setback is a setup for a come up. You just got to realize that you got to get up and take some massive action and make some things happen to change what's going on in your lifestyle right now if you've been set back. That's how you come back up. But you got to do it. And you got to do the necessary things that it takes in order for you to come back up. Nobody can do it for you. It's your choice in what you do. You only live, you got one life to live. So I suggest you live it to the fullest. You get what you deserve out of life, and you live a lifestyle that you deserve to live. Don't live a lifestyle on somebody else's terms. Live a lifestyle on your own terms. And realize when you get set back, your setback is a setup for a come up. But you cannot come back up if you don't put no action together to come back up. But if you sit on your couch every day and say, well, you know what, man, they laid me off, they furloughed me, I ain't got no unemployment check yet, I ain't got no money coming in, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. You sitting up there saying and talking about how you're gonna do something and not taking no action to make nothing better is not going to change nothing. You need to learn to stop worrying about how you're going to pay something and go out there and make it happen. Like I said, if you got to hustle and wash cars to save up enough money to invest in a concept, if you got to go work at McDonald's, to save up enough money to invest in a concept, you got to do what you need to do, and you got to realize that your setback is a setup for a come up. But you got to realize, and you got to take that massive action and do what you need to do in order to come up. But you got to realize it. Because if you don't realize it, you're never going to come back up. You're always going to feel sorry for yourself. You're always going to say, well, you know what? Woe is me. I can't believe I'm in this situation. Believe it. You in the situation, now do something about it. Take some action to change the situation. Only you can change your lifestyle. Only you can write the blueprints of your life. Only you can create change. Only you can make your lifestyle better than what it is today. No matter how many times you've been set back, just realize your setbacks is a setup for a come up, and you got to know what to do and when to do and how to come up and make it happen. But you cannot sit back and say, well, woe is me, and I don't know what to do. You got to find out what to do. And if you don't know what to do, go to somebody and ask. If you see somebody that's been set back and now they came back up, go to them and ask. Say, hey man, I just want to know, man. I remember when you was down here like this and now you came back up. Can you give me some advice? I want to come back up. Can you tell me what steps you took to get to where you are right now? And I guarantee you, if you ask them for that advice, they will give it to you. If you ask me my story and how I came back up, you know how I came back up? Consistency. I was consistent. I had consistency and wanting to come back up. I had consistency and wanting to get away from working a 9 to 5. And I did it. And you can come back up the same way. When I invested in myself in the network marketing industry, I had consistency and I had a winning mindset. And I told myself, I said, no matter how many obstacles I face along this way, I will be the first generational millionaire. And I didn't give up. And now I'm 9 to 5 free. So, and I'm living a good life. I write the blueprint of my own life. I can go do what I want to do, when I want to do, if I chose to. So if you want that lifestyle, you got to do what it takes to get it. And the first thing it takes is becoming an action taker and a decision maker and deciding to invest in yourself on top of what you're previously doing, because we all know that jobs are not loyal. It has proven it with the economic crisis. And I guarantee you right now, there's people sitting at home right now that have been set back, but they don't realize that their setback is a setup for a come up. You know why they don't realize it? Because they're sitting back and they're wallowing in their misery and being more and more miserable and being more and more stressed out each and every day because they have no get up and go about themselves to make something happen. They're just sitting there waiting on it to drop in their lap, and it's not going to happen like that. You got to take some massive action when you've been set back, because you got to realize that your setback is a setup for a come up. You got to realize that. If you don't realize that, then you're never going to get to the next level in life. If you lose one job, go look for another job if that's what you chose. If you're tired of being in the industry of trading time for dollars, go search and find a concept to invest in that you know that you can do, and you know that you have the right type of leadership, and you know that you have great product, and you know that these people can teach you what you need to be taught so you can be successful. You don't know how successful you can be if you don't try, if you don't use your brain. God gave us 5 senses. We need to use those 5 senses at all times. That's how we realize that our setback is a setup for a come up. But we can't realize that if we're sitting back, wallowing in our misery and wondering, why is this happening to me? And why am I going through all this? Instead of wondering, why are you going through all this? Wonder, why are you not looking for a solution and a way out of all this to come back from your setback? Because your setback is a setup for a come up. So instead of you wondering why you're going through all these things, put together action, a schedule, a plan, and do what you need to do to come out of it. Because if you don't come out of it, nobody's going to help you out of it if you don't ask for no help, if you don't ask for no advice. If you see other people and you know that this person used to be where you was working a 9 to 5 like you was, and now they're living a way much better lifestyle than what you are right now, and you're still working a 9 to 5, and you wonder how they did it, ask them. They'll be glad to tell you. And they'll probably be glad to help you get there. But you'll never know what they can do for you if you don't ask. You never know what you can accomplish if you don't try. So that's why you got to realize that your setback is a setup for a come up. You got to realize that. And once you realize that, now you won't allow to keep being set back. You'll realize every time you get set back, hey, my setback is a setup for a come up. I got to get ready to come up from this situation. I'm not going to sit here and wallow in my misery and say, woe is me, and just keep sinking and drowning in debt with me about to go homeless, and I'm not trying to do nothing to create something to where I don't have to be in this situation. Because like I said, there's things that you can do. It may be something you don't want to do, but a lot of times when we get set back, we need to know that our setback is a setup for a come up. And a lot of times we have to swallow our pride and do things that we wouldn't normally do so we can have what others can't, because they're not willing to do it, you know? And that's what we need to realize. When we've been set back in life, your setback is a setup for a come up, but only you can bring yourself back up. And if you bring yourself back up once you've been set back, you'll never be set back again. See, me right now, the things that I'm doing, I'm establishing and creating and building wealth. So now, when something happens to the economy or whatever's going on, it's not going to affect me, because guess what? I have a thing called residual income. So that's going to come regardless. And if you want to know about residual income, just reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to tell you how you can get it. If you're interested in knowing what it is and you don't know what it is, I will be glad to help you, because I want you to know that your setback is a setup for a come up. You need to know that. And the more you realize that and the more you know that, now you know that you can come up when you get set back. And now you don't have to wallow in your misery and say, woe, it's me. You know, I can't believe I'm going through all this. I can't believe this job treated me this way. I've been so loyal to him. I can't believe I didn't get this promotion. Don't wallow in your misery. If you don't have what you think you deserve out of life, do the necessary things that it takes to get it. If working a 9 to 5 is not giving it to you, start investing in yourself. And I guarantee you, you will see your life change slowly if you have consistency within whatever type of investment you decide to go into. But that's up to you. You have to realize that. You have to make that decision. You have to become that action taker and that decision maker. And you have to realize that your setback is a setup for a come up. You have to realize that. But if you don't realize that, then you cannot come back up. And if you wallow in your misery, you will never come back up. You got to put some action together in order to be able to come back up. And you got to realize that your setback is a setup for a come up. And I just hope you got something out of this morning, inspiration this morning, and knowing that your setback is a setup for a come up. And I just hope it resonates with you. And whatever you're going through, if you've been held back in life, I hope that this morning inspiration gave you enough push to put in some action now to come back up. And I just want to say thank each and every one of you all for your views, your likes, your comments, your shares. I really appreciate your support. And you're letting me know that what I'm doing is making a difference. And I appreciate it. But I just do me a favor on this video right here. I want you to like, comment, and share, because somebody needs to hear this morning inspiration, and they need to know that their setback is a setup for a come up. They need to know that. They need to hear that. So I just want to say thank each and every one of you all. And I have an announcement to make this morning. I'm not going to be able to do the morning inspiration until like next Thursday because I have to fly out of town today to Atlanta, Georgia, to go to Atlanta, Georgia to work with my team over there and train them how to do the new products and services that have just been implemented into my company. And by me being a leader, that's what leaders do. So, but however, the morning inspiration is not going to stop. Tune in tomorrow, and my beautiful, lovable wife is going to take over my platform until I come back Thursday. So, but you will see me on Thursday. I will be back to bring more heat with the morning inspiration. But my beautiful wife, she's just as great a speaker as I am. So she has some words for you. So don't miss a morning inspiration if you want to keep being inspired when you go out that door each and every morning. So I just want to say God bless each and every one of you all. And if you're going out the door this morning, going to work, then, you know, I want you to drive safe, watch the people on the highway. Once you get to work, work safe, and all those good things. And if you're working from home, I want you to work with a safe manner and make wise decisions and have confidence in yourself and keep the consistency flowing. But like I said, once again, you know, I won't be back on my morning inspiration until Thursday of next week because I'm flying out of town this morning, going to Atlanta, Georgia to work with my team over there. You know, my team over there is growing a lot and I'm a leader. So and that's what leaders do. I go over there and help them. So now I got to go over there and train them on some products and services, new products that we have that has just been miraculously selling out, just selling like crazy. They're you know, it's just, and I'm so blessed, you know, and I'm so blessed to be able to help others. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I do the morning inspirations because I want to inspire you to be better than you was yesterday. Every time you listen to a morning inspiration that I bring, I want to inspire you to be just a little bit more better than you was yesterday. So with that being said, you know, tomorrow my beautiful wife, Mrs. Shatita Young, you know, she'll be bringing the morning inspiration. So don't miss a morning inspiration, you know, because like I said, she's got some words for you. I don't know what she's going to talk about, but I can tell you whatever she's going to talk about, it will encourage you. It will help you throughout your daily lifestyle and walk of life, and it will inspire you to have a better day. So don't miss a morning inspiration. And once again, my name is Greg Young coming to you live with the morning inspiration from Davenport, Florida. Your setback is a come up. Your setback is a setup for a come up. Just believe that. Your setback is a setup for a come up. And if you believe that and you trust in that and you know that, then you will come up in any kind of way that you have been set back in life. So this morning, I hope something that I said resonates with you and just make wise decisions. And when you get set back, put consistency in what you're doing and come back up. So I just want to tell you, each and every one of you all, I love you and God loves you too. And God bless you and have a blessed day and goodbye.